Good morning. Welcome to Member Focus Monday. I'm Christina Schaefer, social media manager for HAR. I'm joined this morning by realtor safety expert, Brandy Liss. Welcome, Brandy.
Thanks. Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Oh, I'm honored.
We're really excited to have you. You know, we're getting into the spring selling season and summer selling season, and I'm sure everybody's starting to get really busy, but it's always really important to just take a minute to talk about safety, right?
I know. Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about, and Brandy actually brought some props and things to share with us as well.
Oh, yes. I got toys today.
So before we get into any of that, though, if we'll just start by, if you could introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. Well, so my name is Brandy Liss, and prior to becoming a real estate agent, I am a realtor. I was in the military. I served in the Army. I was a diesel mechanic. Oh, thank you. But I was a diesel mechanic. So when people see me, they always think that's kind of funny that I was a diesel mechanic. And then I went into military intelligence. So it's kind of like the biggest oxymoron of the military intelligence from being a diesel mechanic. And then from there, my family, my dad was also military and he served. We opened up the arms rooms. We worked for the arms room. And that's really where I kind of went down this journey of wanting to make sure that people had knowledge and the ability to defend themselves and understand safety. And then when I became a realtor, well, actually prior to becoming a realtor, I was selling my house and I went with a realtor, and everything she did, I was terrified.
Yeah.
And I think I made a comment. I was like, I have done you in already. I have stolen your car, your purse, married your husband,
stolen your identity.
I've stolen your identity. Like everything was wrong. And I think she felt really comfortable with me, and that's probably part of the problem.
Yeah.
But I was very, very aware of everything that she was doing that would have put her in a very precarious position. And so it kind of led into this path. And then when I became a real estate agent, I was like, oh, wow, I need to really be aware of my surroundings, because as a new agent, we'll jump on anything. You know, we don't even think about it. We're like, oh, we need a deal. And so we just put our safety to the wayside. You just don't think it's going to happen to you. And I think that's a mindset that a lot of people have.
You mentioned that your realtor, you think she was just very comfortable with you. Did you know her prior to that?
I did know her prior, but I felt like watching her going through the motions, I think this was a very common practice for her. I think that she probably did this all the time.
Right.
And I looked at everything she was carrying with her, and that her hands were busy, and she allowed me to be behind her as we went up to the front door. She let me follow her into this very dark house, and I was just thinking to myself, you have just put yourself in so many bad scenarios and positions to where if somebody wanted to do you harm, you would not be able to defend yourself, number one. Number two, you would never see it coming. She just was oblivious. And so I think that's the number one thing that I kind of look at, and that I kind of coach people when I talk to them, is really being aware of your surroundings and really putting yourself in a position that if you have to fight or flight, you have the ability to do so.
Okay, very good. So why do you think that realtors are, targeted by criminals?
Well, number one, I think that it's like our payroll is very out there. They think that they can see, or they assume how much money we're going to make off of a deal. And they assume that most realtors have a lot of money. They don't pay attention to the fact that we pay taxes. But they think, one, is that we have money. Two, it's an opportunity, a crime of opportunity, because we're going into vacant homes oftentimes. We are at open houses that, nobody's there. So opportunities are there. It used to be, or I used to have this assumption that all realtors, primarily females, but the males too, had to be gorgeous, like airline stewards. Remember them? They had to be beautiful, and they are. They're all, very attractive. They dress very well. They usually drive very nice cars, and so there's this perception out there that this person has money. They're usually relatively attractive. And then they're in a position where they're either in a vacant home or an empty home. Sometimes it's a home with no electricity or water or anything else. And so great opportunity. And it may be days or hours before anybody would go back to that house and then find this person. So really it's an opportunity.
Yeah. So, you mentioned earlier, especially for a new agent, they're just so desperate to get that deal, right? But we spoke before about really vetting leads. So how would you suggest realtors go about vetting leads? And really, this is for anybody. But I think of new realtors just because, like you said, they want to jump on every one, right?
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I've been doing real estate for 4 years, and I still have that. You know, if somebody calls me out of the blue, I had a situation. I did an open house recently, and the open house was supposed to be over at 3, and at 2:52, I got a message. Hey, I'm running late. Can you wait for me? And it was a man. I didn't know who he was. I had no information on him. It was just a message through the HAR messenger. I'm running late. I'm on my way. Can you wait for me? And I did. There was no vetting. I didn't say, can you send me your driver's license? Can you, I didn't do that. But my advice to people is have a backup plan. Number one. Number two, let people know where you're going. Number three, if you can get a copy of their driver's license, get a copy of their driver's license. People's information is out there. So now if I get a call, I just had a showing not too long ago, and I told the gentleman as he came in, I said, just want you to know, I stalked you on on the internet. I know all about you. I know where you work. I know all this. And that's not a bad thing. Let them know that you know. Let them know that you're researching them. It's your safety. They shouldn't have a problem with it. And if they do, then that's probably a big red flag. But get as much information as you can up front. If you can meet them at the office, meet them at the office. Get a copy of their driver's license. Let someone in the office know, hey, I've received this call. I'm going to go on this lead. Let them know the address of where you're going, the person's name. Just really get as much information up front as possible so that when you get there, there's a level of, like, you have the power, you have the knowledge, and you kind of know what you're walking into. I mean, nobody's walking around with a sign that says, I'm a serial killer, or I'm a rapist, or I'm going to rob you. There's no sign, I mean, everybody looks pretty normal for the most part. So, and then when you get there, have a backup plan. I always tell people, take the time. I always try to get there before them. And I think I mentioned that earlier. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. But get there early so you can case the joint, go around, look at which side the gate is on the fence. Because if your exit strategy is to go through the back door, and you go to the left and the gate is on the right, you better be prepared to scale that 6 foot or 8 foot fence. So know the house, know which direction the gate is, know which direction you're going to. When you get there, make sure you unlock the back door and have the front door. Know where your exits are. If you have to open a window, so that if you have to go through a window, you can without having to think too much about it. Have it ready to go. Have a code word, for help. If you, call somebody or text somebody, I think we've said in the past something like, get the red file. I remember I worked with Jimmy, and I called him and I said, I'm going to meet a man. He might kill me. Just want you to know. And we kind of had a plan. I mean, I didn't know this man. It was a vacant home. It was a foreclosure. It was no electricity. I didn't get a lot of information. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're such an idiot, basically. He's like, but here's the plan. You have 20 minutes and you have to call me back. If you don't call me back, I'm coming after you. So have a plan.
The thing you mentioned about driver's license, I'm thinking about other industries, and like when you go to test drive a car, when you go to tour an apartment, things like that, they always take your ID. It's standard practice, but we don't seem to do that.
We don't. And I don't know. And, it's part of the process, or it should be. So when we do rentals, we always get a copy of the driver's license. But when we do a purchase, I don't always ask for the copy of the driver's license. I should, and then a lot of times we're working with friends and family, and we just don't think about it. So it's a comfort thing. But when it's not friends or family, definitely get a copy of the driver's license. I've had people, or I've told people, when you pull up and they're already there, take a picture of their license plate. Just take a picture. It doesn't take you 30 seconds, just take a picture. They may or may not see it. If they do, who cares? Just say, I'm just making sure, this is for my safety. Don't be afraid to tell people that you're looking out for yourself. They should respect that.
And I think also, if you were telling a client, I'm just protecting myself, they're going to assume that you're going to be protecting them too.
Absolutely. And I think you have a responsibility to protect your clients. We could get in a situation where we go into a home where there's squatters. And I think that as the realtor, it's kind of my duty or obligation to make sure that the environment is safe for my clients. So I kind of feel like I'm their ninja.
So you've mentioned already a few examples of what we can do when we're out in the field, whether you're alone or with a client. Right. Get there early, know where the gate is, right? What else could we be doing?
there's some debate, and this might be a great question or something to come up if people want to come in on the Q&A. But historically, realtors have been told to park in front of the home so that they don't get blocked into the driveway.
Right.
I disagree with that. And the reason why is your vehicle is a 2-ton weapon. Okay. And I don't want to have to traipse across the front yard over. Well, I think it would be cool, but if I have to traipse across the front yard over the hood of the car to get to the driver's side door, I don't run that fast. And if I'm wearing any kind of heels, or possibly flip-flops, because I do wear flip-flops in the summer. But, I want the easiest access from that front door to my driver's side door. And usually that's because I need to pull into the driveway,
right.
So I pull into the driveway, usually on the left-hand side, whatever's closest to the front door.
So do you back in or
no,
straight
I pull straight in. And I try to leave enough room maybe from the garage so that if I had to maneuver my vehicle, I will run over your garden gnomes. I will destroy your landscape to get away, that I'll cross that bridge later. But if it's my life, I want the fastest exit to the driver's side of the door of my car and to be able to get in there. So I do not pull all the way in, but I do pull in enough into the driveway that I have a direct access. And that if I needed to hightail it out of there, I can go through the yard, or I will back up and run into their car. I'm not worried about their car. This is my life.
Right.
So there is some debate, and I'd be happy to hear other people's point of view on that.
Sure. So. Yeah. And to that point, if you do have questions for Brandy, type them into the comments, or if you have something, maybe a tip, something that you do to protect yourself or your clients out in the field, type that into the comments as well, so we can definitely take a look at that. So you did, are there any other major tips that you have there?
Well, I think the biggest tip is know your surroundings. Number one, your head should always be on a swivel. Get off your phone. Try to be as hands-free as possible. I always recommend for women, especially, to wear the crossbody purses, not to carry in their fancy purses, but just carry what you need into a home. And if you can wear it in a crossbody, that would be best, because then you're more hands-free. I mean, we're already dealing with the lockbox. We usually have our cell phone in our hand. We usually have 15 to 20 MLS sheets in our hands.
I was going to say, you're fumbling through the MLS sheets.
Yeah. So your hands are full, but keep them as empty as possible, as much as you can. And
you mentioned also, staying behind them versus letting them
let them go ahead of you. You open the door, let them go ahead of you. Now, we have a lot of houses that have those deep entries. Those terrify me. But and I have said, give me a second, wait here, let me make sure. I'm going to go to the door. I'm going to ring the doorbell, make sure that nobody's there. I'm going to go ahead and open the door, and then I'll let you come on up. I have said that, and I felt okay saying it, and the people were very respectful. They stayed back, but I don't want people crowding over me as I'm at the front door trying to fight with the lockbox. So, I think you have to build some confidence sometimes, because we don't want to be paranoid. I think that's it. We need to get past that "it's never going to happen to me" attitude, because it happens. There are a lot of statistics out there. It happens.
It happens locally.
It happens locally. I have done several classes, and inevitably in every class, 1 to 2 people will stand up and tell a story that has happened to them. And there was one lady here at HAR, we did a class, and she told us that he had put her in the trunk, and she was his 4th attack. I mean, it was just crazy. And she survived that. So it happens, and it happens to people that we know, and it happens to people that we love, and it can happen to us. So I tell people, layer your defenses, know what's in your arsenal, even if you don't carry any type of dedicated weapon, know what's in your arsenal, because if you are carrying a purse, or you're carrying that thing that comes out of the lockbox, the little square part that's that could be a weapon.
Yeah.
Your car is a
heavy.
weapon. Your shoes, if you're wearing spiked heels, you can use those as a weapon. Your elbows are a weapon. Know what's in your arsenal. If you get there early enough, walk around that house and kind of see what's there. Remove weapons of opportunity for an attacker, but know where if you've got a butcher block of knives sitting out, go ahead and put them in a cabinet or under somewhere, but know where it is, because if you have to defend yourself, then you know where to go get that. So know your surroundings, not just what's going on around you, but know what's available, that if you needed to use something to defend yourself, you could. Know what's in your bag, if you carry a bag in with you. If your client shows up with a duffel bag, that should be a red flag. You might have some duct tape and some rope, so you might want to
garbage bag.
So just, pay attention. If you get, my number one thing I tell people if you feel uneasy, because there is a sense that will come down your spine, make your hair stand up. If you feel that, do not ignore it. Do not ignore it. There's a reason. And it may be very small, and you may be talking yourself out of it and saying, oh, I'm just being paranoid. There is a reason. Okay. Pay attention to that. So, and then make your excuse. I mean, I tell people, have a, like kind of secret word or secret code for yourself to, you get in a situation and you feel a little uncomfortable, say, you know what, I just received a phone call. I have a family emergency. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to reschedule. Don't even go into the home. Or if you've stepped into the home already, make sure you're standing close to the door. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go. I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling very sick. I need to leave, but have a strategy, an exit strategy, always. Okay. Number one.
So speaking of the arsenal, you did bring some stuff to show us. So
I did.
Yeah. So what should we put in our arsenal?
Okay. Well, I always recommend layering your defenses. Okay. And there are 3 distance tools and there are 3 up close and personal tools. So the distance tools, everybody talks about a firearm. They think if they carry a firearm, they don't have to carry anything else. I am an advocate for carrying a firearm. I believe in your right to carry a firearm. However, it is a lethal form. I don't know if your purse is worth taking another person's life. It is a last resort. Most attacks happen up close and personal. 99% of the time, they're already touching us before we realize that we're being attacked. And it takes too long to pull from a concealed position, take aim and fire. A lot of attacks happen from behind. I have not met many people that can shoot from behind. So a firearm is not the end all be all. That shouldn't be the only thing that you're carrying. Sometimes you have to create distance to get to that. Another distance tool is a taser. A taser shoots out the 2 prongs. It has to make contact. There are civilian models. A lot of police officers carry them, but there are civilian models. They're not cheap. They're about $500, I think. The third thing is pepper spray. And HAR sells pepper spray, and it's blinged out. I don't know how many men want to carry the pepper spray that's blinged out, but it's very pretty. So pepper spray is great. Just realize it does come back on you, so there could be some cross-contamination. It does expire. And in the state of Texas, it's very important to know that because a lot of people leave it in their cars and the heat will cause the canister to, expand and contract. Yeah. So it's not that the the capsicum pepper inside really diminishes, is because it's a natural product. But what happens is it may not spray. You may get like dribble. So you might want to test it, not in your house or on your children or your loved ones, unless they deserve it. But you might want to go out and just try it. Yeah. So those are 3.
I think it's just so you know what to expect too. If you were ever to use it, you should. You have give it one little spray and see how it works. Put it on your
keychain. And what's really good, I mean, I have some people say, well, I don't want people to know that I have a weapon. I do. I want them to know that I will fight for my life if I have to, that I will spray them or I will shoot them or I will, I want them to know that I'm willing to defend myself. Attackers are looking for a victim. They're not looking for somebody that's going to fight back. So if you look like you're going to defend yourself or you have the means to defend yourself or the mindset to defend yourself, then they're going to say next. They're going to go look for somebody that is not as equipped or prepared mentally or physically. Yeah. So 3 distance weapons: firearm, pepper spray, and taser. Then we have, which is my favorite, because if you carry a knife, first of all, you look like you're bad to the bone, right? Second of all, when it's somebody's birthday, you're ready because you can cut the cake. You can cut the cake. I'm also a professional box cutter. I can open every box. So I carry a knife. Another reason why I like this is very easy to conceal. A lot of problems that women have is we wear form-fitting clothing. Our pants don't come with pockets. Not sure why. It's just the way that we're made. But ladies and men, if you're wearing brassieres, you can do this too. But you can put a knife in your brassiere. Okay. Your brassiere can hold a lot of things. Banks are now not taking your money if you're sticking it in your bra, but but you can put a knife or something like that in your bra, and it's ready. It's accessible and it's hidden, and so that if you need it, it's right there. The other one, this one always gets a big chuckle. This is called a Kubaton. It looks a little inappropriate, but it's a Kubaton. It's a striking instrument. Okay. A lot of martial artists use this. Al Garza, he did a great class. You can use it as a striking instrument, but it's also, you can do it as a restraining tool. It'll break bone. It's just really cool. It's made out of aluminum. This one is, it's kind of grooved so that you have a better grip, but some of them just look like a regular pen kind of thing, which leads me to this can be used as a weapon. If you have a pen, you're carrying a pen into a showing, this can be used as a weapon. You just start stabbing somebody with it. I mean, you have to do what you have to do to fight for your life. And then the last thing we have is a stun gun. So stun guns, they're selling these at Academy and different places. So if you want to get a stun gun, they're not really that expensive. A lot of them are chargeable. And so you just plug them in and charge them overnight, usually about once a month. This one I like. It has the disable pen. So if the attacker were to pull it away from you, they wouldn't be able to turn around and use it against you. And then it also has a flashlight. And everybody's like, why would you have a flashlight? You know what? The flashlight is great if you're going to homes that have no electricity or you have that client that wants you to join them in the attic. Not sure. I think that would be a red flag. Hey, come on up to the attic. I'll pass.
Yeah. Down here.
But anyway, this is great to illuminate, obviously, but also to blind your attacker. We call it OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. So if you can break their OODA loop, then you buy time. And you go up a notch. I'm going to zap it real quick, see who's paying attention. But yeah, it's a great tool. Now, those are 3 up close and personal tools. So you have to use those, create distance, get to a distance tool if you're going to use a firearm or if you need a firearm. So 3 distance tools, 3 up close and personal tools. But again, know what's in your arsenal. If you don't have any of those items, you are still protected. You just have to know what you have.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to take a look to see what questions or comments that we have coming in from our members. Give me just a second here. I don't know why they're not showing. Well, while I do that, because for some reason it's not popping up for me. So you had some more stuff on you that you wanted to share with us, right?
I did. So I do have, and let's talk about, we do the classes, and October is Realtor Safety Awareness Month, although we need to be aware every day, but we kind of recognize that in October. And so we will be offering classes at HAR. And then I know that I've had brokerages and different companies actually have me come out, and they can coordinate through calling Teresa.
Yes.
And at those classes, we talk about some of the tips that National Association of Realtors puts out, NAR. And so I have printed those off, and I have them available. If anybody wants to email me, they're more than welcome to email me, and I can email you the tips. And so, sometimes it seems like it's common sense, but when you've been in this industry, these are not always that easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when it says keep it light, don't go after dark. Well, in the wintertime, when it gets dark at like 4, you're doing a showing at 5:30 and it's dark. So sometimes it's kind of hard. I have people all the time asking me about taking a client in their car. I have done that. I'm not opposed to that, but it's not recommended. So think about that before you do it. I mean, if it's a close personal family friend or family member, then sure, why not? But if you don't know them and you haven't truly vetted them, then probably not the best option.
Right.
Checking in, don't be too public, just some great tips. And there's several pages, and I don't mind sending that out.
And we'll put up Brandy's email address. So.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then this is the 10-second rule. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you go and you kind of look around the house, know which side that fence is on, know the neighborhood a little bit better, kind of stepping out of your car, looking all around, looking at what's going on at the door, getting that feeling, if you get that uneasy feeling, seeing if anything's out of place. I had an agent the other day tell me she came in and she was pretty sure that, and I think that they caught one person. She's pretty sure that she walked into a squatter situation and she just felt it. Like she knew something was out of whack. And then when she went upstairs, there were sleeping bags upstairs. And so she knew immediately she had walked into that, and she heard the scuffling going on downstairs. So she was in there while they were there. And she said it was pretty scary. 10 Commandments of Agent Safety. It kind of reiterates what we've already talked about over here, but it's in the 10 Commandments. And then I have people all the time ask me, where are there resources? There's all kinds of really cool websites that sell jewelry that will trigger or let people know your location.
Yeah, I've seen some of that stuff.
Yeah, there's some apps. There's all kinds of great programs out there. And so some of the agents may even have some recommendations.
There's actually some that are recommending things on here. Ram just made a comment that he parks facing out if possible. Yeah. So like you said, whatever's going to get you to the door fastest, right?
Right.
In your car. Monica said, she said, do you have a sort of program or app to do a quick background check of a lead before going to meet them? I've heard there's some that you can use a cell phone number to find out information about a person.
Well, you know that you can do a criminal check on anybody. There is, you pay for it. It's through the DPS. So, which isn't a bad thing. But here's the kicker. If they've never been caught, there's not going to be any history. Okay. So that only tells you of people that are known of doing bad things. And so I don't think that it's not a bad idea to check on that. But if they've already been caught, they're in the system. Maybe they're getting a second chance. Maybe they've served their time. Maybe they've paid their penance. I don't know. It's the ones that we don't know about that are the ones that scare me the most. Yeah. Okay. Those are the ones that haven't been
staying
caught.
under the radar.
Yeah, they're staying under the radar. So, but you can pay. I think it's through DPS. You can pay to do criminal checks on people, and I will research. And there may be one of these apps may have that, and I'll double check. I had looked at all of them. Some of them are maybe out of date. So I need to go back and recheck them. I think it's been a year since I looked at them, but there are some great apps out there, and I will find out more about that for sure.
So some people were just asking your thoughts on pepper spray and weapons, but we've already covered that. Actually, somebody said, I've purchased the Black Bling pepper spray.
Well,
so
good.
That one.
And I will tell you, there are pros and cons for every item that we talked about. So pepper spray, it is a distance tool. If it's expired, you're going to have a problem. It is going to get on you. So if you have an adverse reaction to that, a lot of times when we spray, we want to continue to move forward. We don't think about that, but you need to move sideways because your attacker is going to continue to come forward at you. And it takes a good 10, 15 seconds for that pepper spray to kick in. Ask me how I know. I got sprayed in the face with my own pepper spray.
Oh, gosh. Angie said, I carry pepper spray, but the day I was attacked and bitten by dogs, I couldn't get it in time.
And there is no true evidence that the pepper spray works on the dogs. Okay. So just be aware of that as well. So dogs are an issue. And, you know, I think about when I do realtor safety, we talk about the human element, but dogs are an issue. And I think that, again, it's more about being aware of your surroundings. Just, I don't know how to really defend you against animal predators because you never know when they're going to change or attack you. I watched a video the other day. A woman was trapped by a cat at a house. It was entertaining, but it could be pretty terrifying. Those are vicious.
I would just look for a broom, right?
I know, right? I mean, you again know what's in your arsenal, know what's around you. So if there is a dog coming at you, I mean, a lot of it is a quick exit and getting into a safe place. And that, and the end result is, or the end goal is to get to a safe space.
Yes. Several people, Melissa specifically mentioned Forewarn. That's a great app.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Are you aware of that one?
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
That
Melissa.
is great.
Yeah.
Definitely share anything that you have or that you have knowledge about. Definitely share that.
Karen said we use Spoko, I think is how you probably pronounce it. Spoko. To ID people before showing. You can check their Facebook page or search their phone number. It's part of KV Core if you have that through your broker.
Okay. I've heard of that. Yeah. I called it Spokio, I think.
Spokio?
But it may be Spoko. I'm not sure. I make up my own words.
So Lois mentioned that she has a thought about asking a prospective client to state what company they work for, address, telephone number prior to meeting. Would this be considered standard protocol nowadays?
I don't think that it hurts. I mean, you want them to be pre-qualified. So asking them about their employment, I don't think it violates anything.
And if you're worried about offending them or something like that, that's a good way to go about it. I think
so. And maybe it's in the way that we say it, can you give me a little bit more information? I need your full name, date of birth, where do you work? Are you pre-qualified? Maybe that should be first.
Yeah.
I don't need your name or anything. I just need to know if you're pre-qualified.
There we go. Which we should ask anyway, right?
I know, right? Who does?
Somebody mentioned, Dusty mentioned actually Life 360. It's an awesome app for your location.
Have that, actually. Yes. And I do that with my daughter.
Yes. Exactly. Karen said, we have a button we carry that's set to notify numbers in order of preference. If you need to, there is a 911 option.
That is awesome. Can you tell us more about that, Karen? Can you put where like you get that or a link or something?
That'd be great. And Melissa just clarified, Forewarn will tell you about bankruptcy, criminal record, last residence. All you need is a cell phone or name.
There you go. That is awesome.
Lainey mentioned that she's heard wasp spray works well for distance.
Oh, okay. You know what? Again, use what's in your arsenal. If wasp spray is all you have, by all means, use it. Okay. But there has been no evidence or proof that that has been an effective deterrent as far as stopping an attack. Okay. Now, if you spray something in your eyes, doesn't matter if it's water or wasp spray, it's going to slow down the attack. And that's the objective. Okay. So we want to stall or slow down the attack till we can either get to a safe place or get to another means of defense, whether that's getting to a firearm, getting to a knife, getting to, you know, taking off our shoes, you know, whatever we need to do.
If it helps buy you time.
If it buys you time, absolutely use it. But I always get that question about the wasp spray. And I actually did post something about the effectiveness or how this is supposed to be in comparison to pepper spray. And I'll have to find that. And if I find it, I'm going to put it on this link because it was not proven effective. And it was kind of like a Snopes thing. And they said, no, do not use wasp spray. However, if you have nothing else to use wasp spray.
Christina, not me, different Christina, said, can you do or tell how you throw somebody off?
How I throw someone off of their OODA loop to kind of break up their OODA?
I guess so.
So again, OODA loop, OODA, OODA is observe, orient, decide, and act. So there are several things. Now, it's all going to be contingent on your personality, and I make jokes. Okay, I try to make my realtor safety training funny, but there, and it's making light of a serious situation. But a lot of times we retain more information if we can laugh through it. And because it is sensitive subject, there are triggers, and there are people that have experienced an attack or a family member that has experienced an attack. So I try to make it a little bit lighter, but there are ways you can kind of throw people off their game. Now, I made a joke. I tried online dating recently, and this guy invited me to his house because he said his car was broke down. And I was like, I'm not coming to your house. That's just crazy. And I think I told you the story, but anyway. And he said something about, oh, are you worried about me being a serial killer? And I said, well, it's unusual that there would be two serial killers in the relationship. So I implied that I was a serial killer. So anyway, kind of threw him off a little bit because I don't think he was expecting that response. But I think that, you know, if you're trying to find your out, just anything you could say, I think it was Biden or somebody said, you know, urinate on them if they're trying to rape you, or tell them that you have an irritable bowel syndrome experience, or whatever you can do that might be a turnoff to them. Now realize, you know, rape is not necessarily sexual. It's a power. It's a violence. It's about power and control. So it's not a sexual thing. But if you can make yourself less desirable or interesting, then it may throw them off their game a little bit. But it is more, you know, you just
it's such a hard, it's such a hard thing because as a realtor, you want people to like you and know you. And, and it's, you know, you're trying to put things out there, but you have to also protect yourself. So we're getting close on time, and I want to be respectful of your time and everybody's time, but we have so many comments, people just giving tips. You can buy pepper spray for dogs at Academy. Ram said maybe get into a martial arts class that can create an environment of being attacked in a controlled setting.
Absolutely. Your body is a weapon. Okay. Learning to use your elbows, your knees. Women have been found that they have better lower body strength than upper body strength. And so, but ironically, studies or statistics have shown that if a woman is put into a prone position, they stop fighting. But that's where we're our strongest. So why do we stop fighting? So take a martial arts class. I highly recommend it, if for no other reason. And the other reason why I don't advocate, you know, people say, oh, carry a firearm. A lot of people don't train with their firearm. They don't get the muscle memory with their firearm. They're never training with the firearm under a stressful situation or in that scenario. So just because, and then there are CHLs being offered where they don't require them to qualify with their firearm. So they get their CHL and they've never shot a gun before, and now they're carrying one. So it is a little bit scary.
And I would think that, you probably know this better than I do, but I would think that since they have that gun now, they probably think, well, I'm safe.
They have a false sense of security.
And they just let their guard down a little bit.
They have a false sense of security.
Edward, who was on a few weeks ago, actually mentioned a hot cup of coffee works great for defense and distraction too, right?
Absolutely.
So like anything you can get your hands on.
When I do my training class, I have one segment where I'm like, okay, pull, I'm going to give you 3 seconds. I'm your attacker. Pull the first thing that you can out of your purse or your bag or your pocket or your wallet or whatever. And then we go around the room and we're like, okay, how can we use that as a weapon? Now it's been pretty amazing. Some of the stuff that people have pulled out of their purse. I've had a woman that had a curling iron. That's a great weapon. Like, why do you have a curling iron in your purse? But neither here nor there. People, a lot of times, first thing they have is their cell phone. How do you use that? Again, we're creating a distraction. Throw that cell phone at them, however, whatever you need to do. So whatever works.
Cell phone to the temple or something.
Yeah.
Would be pretty good. So they're asking about classes. The alert button was showitnow.com, and we did put that up on the screen for everybody to see. One last thing that we'll take here, Lainey just said, girls don't date a guy who doesn't have a car.
He had a car. He just claimed that something wasn't working on that car. No, that's true.
It's true.
He had a hoopty. Don't date a girl. Yes. Don't date a guy with a hoopty.
Yes. So they want to know about the classes. So you are going to be offering classes here at HAR in October. They're not on the calendar just yet because we're still a few months away, right? But you did mention that, if people want to have you come out to their office, you can go and do a class at their office. How long are these classes that you do?
So you get, it's a 4 CE class. So for 3. No, I think it's 3 CEs. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Rita, where are you? But it's about a 4-hour class. Okay. So I always tell people, we could do 8 to 12 or 1 to 4, whatever, 1 to 5, whatever it takes. But we usually go over a little bit just because we get so many great testimonies, number 1. Number 2, great questions. Number 3, we do some demonstrations. There's some videos. So, but normally it's a 4-hour class. Yeah. And I think you get 3 Cs for that.
So we'll put up the email address if you want Brandy to come out to your office and do a training with your agents that are there in your office. That's a great opportunity because you're all there together. And like you said, can share testimonials and things like that. We'll put that up on the screen for everyone. You'll just email Teresa. She just coordinates those for us. And then we gave your email address earlier for all of the tips and the commandments and all of this stuff. If you want that, just email Brandy directly and she can send it to you. Brandy, this has been excellent.
Thank you.
You've opened my eyes a little bit. I'm still a little nervous about this thing.
I know, right? It is a little suspicious. I mean, just pull that out and that's going to be a distraction right there.
Like, what is she holding? Let me back up a little bit.
Maybe she's crazier than I am.
Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I mean, my whole thing is I want you guys to be safe. I want you to use your common sense. It doesn't matter what tools you have, though, if you're not mentally prepared to fight for your life. So be mentally prepared to fight for your life. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be safe out there. Be successful in what you're doing. And you can't be successful without being safe. So be safe. Go out there. Conquer the world.
That's so great. One thing you really said that hit home with me is just don't be ashamed of letting them know you're willing to fight for your life. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most important thing. Own it. Be that, tap into the inner ninja.
There we go. Go watch some YouTube videos or something.
I know, right? I feel so empowered when I come back watching ninjas.
So that's actually it for this week's Member Focus Monday. Next week, though, I do want to let everyone know we're really excited to have Dr. Ted C. Jones. He's the chief economist for Stewart Title. We just wrapped up the first quarter, and he gave us an economic update at the beginning of the year, what he expected for 2019. So now that we're through quarter 1, we're excited to hear what his take is now on the rest of the year. So thank you all for joining us. And thank you again, Brandy.
Thank you. This is so fun.
Everybody have a great week. Bye.
Bye.